case where the police took my client's car, made up a story. It was a sweet ride. It was a Porsche. What's the SUV Porsche? What's that called?
Kemp know what it is.
So the police took my man's Cayenne, and he said, "Hey, Saffold, they driving around in my Cayenne." I said, "They not driving your Cayenne." And he said, "I'm telling you, they driving my Cayenne." Guess what he got in the mail? A ticket, a video ticket with the police driving his Cayenne.
Wow.
So then we got the whole case dismissed because they had essentially made the case up just because they liked his ride and wanted to have it and drive it around.
So hold on, when you did that, when you got the case dismissed, did you make enemies?
I don't worry about making enemies.
You don't worry about
it.
No. We're not fearful of it. We're not fearful of it.
They're going to say a lot about me, but they're not going to say I was afraid.
Well, Jeff, reason why I say that, you got people, you got nicknames for judges in the courthouse up there. You got the 4 horsemen. If anybody know about that, that's like that's like a wrestling term, and they put that on these, they pin these judges because they figure that these judges are rogue like wrestlers, just doing what they want to do. Stick 'em, nick 'em. They call them stick 'em, nick 'em too.
So I can't comment on the individual.
Yeah, of course you can't. And you know what, Jeff? I wasn't asking you to do that. No. My question was to you: how do you avoid those pitfalls?
Well, first of all, what you and I call a pitfall, it's like one man's trash is another man's treasure. They're proud of those names. I'm starting to think so. Really. So it's about what you want to be, right? If you want to be true, then be true. If you want to just be about hammering people, then you can do that. But that's not who I am.
Well, what do you? Some people. You got the new sister that was elected to Supreme Court, and a lot of people was getting on her because they were saying she was kind of soft on crime. I don't really believe that, but they brought up a few instances, and it made it look like she was soft on crime.
You know what they call her now?
What they call her now?
Supreme Court judge.
Wow. Yeah, Supreme Court judge.
The times are turning. You don't have to be about sending people to prison forever and mass incarceration to get elected.
More than anything.
Yeah, those days are behind us.
Understanding, discernment. So what did your wife, I know you got on your wall, this house will serve the Lord. When you told your wife, I think I'm going to go with this. I'm going to run for the judge down at the Cuyahoga County Courthouse.
In case she's listening, I didn't tell her. We talked about it.
It's coming out now?
No. I'm saying I didn't say, hey, this is what we're doing. I said, hey, baby, what do you think about doing this?
Well, no, that ain't. No, if you heard my question, I said I seen this house will serve the Lord on the wall. So evidently you had a conversation with your wife.
No doubt.
No doubt.
And First Lady.
The first. So what was some of the things she was saying to you?
She was all in immediately.
She was
no hesitation.
We got to know what the wife thinks because
hesitation.
she's at home with you majority of the time. She knows your character. She knows you better than anybody else. So
she knew.
If she didn't agree with you being a judge, I probably wouldn't either.
Yeah.
To be totally honest.
Here, listen. First of all, I love my wife, adore her, and if she had been adamantly opposed to it, then I probably wouldn't have done it. But that's not a real world scenario, right?
Okay.
I mean, we work together, we work well together. So if it was in my heart, she would go along, but it was also in hers. We both knew. We looked at each other, and we were starting to have conversations about what we ought to be doing in the next few years, and should we be retiring? Should we be selling ice cream somewhere, or should we be doing more? Right. And I think it was easy. It was natural flow. We both said, yeah, that's what we should do. As soon as the conversation came up, we were all in.
What part of the city you from? Are you from Ohio?
Yeah, I'm from Cleveland. I went to Cleveland Heights High School, Cleveland Heights Elementary, middle school.
That's where you graduated from?
I actually graduated in Oakland, California. So I went to public schools in Cleveland Heights, and then moved to California, went to public school in Oakland, California.
Your parents moved to give you a better opportunity in education?
Yeah, split family. They split up, and then my mother wanted to go to California.
Hold on, fathom that. You could have fell through the cracks.
No. My mama wouldn't.
You could have fell through the cracks, man. Family separated a little bit. You had a separation. Hold on. Yeah, you had a little separation in the family.
Yeah.
And usually when stuff like that happens, dreams get deferred a lot of time. Why didn't things fall apart with you?
People forget that you can have great parents that just aren't together, right? So just because there's a divorce doesn't mean that there has to be a bad father or a bad mother. It could just be two people that were in a bad relationship. So I had a great father. Even though I moved out to California with my mother, I always stayed in touch with my father. Most people know my father. Dr. Saffold was the only black dermatologist in Cleveland for like 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, you know you heard his dad?
Yeah.
Oh, you went to him?
East 22nd. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
East 22nd Community College. He was there for 30 years.
Dermatologist. Huh?
Mhm.
Maybe that's why you looking like a movie star up there right now. Maybe that's it. I don't know. You got a question though.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate your service.
Not
to the
judge
community.
yet, now. Not
Okay.
judge yet. I
Well,
like
we
claiming it.
appreciate your service because it is service, you know, like it's in the military or something,
For
you
sure.
know.
For
You're
sure.
serving the community, and you know, like we're fighting against forces, the enemy. And I just want to throw some terms at you, and if you could just comment on it. It's not a question. I'm just going to give you some terms.
Okay.
Mass incarceration, inmate leasing.
Just take them one at a time.
Okay.
Mass incarceration. It's a failed idea. It's a failed idea. This whole idea of 3 strikes you out. You know, once you commit this crime once, you commit it twice, now you should get double the punishment. This idea of warehousing people, it's destroyed neighborhoods. I've ran a youth program in Shaker Heights. We would, every year, when the season would start, we would look around the field. And a lot of these brothers were single brothers, and they'd say, ooh, there's some hot mamas around the field. But ultimately, what the conversation would come down to every year was, where are all the brothers? And they were down the road somewhere, half of them. And it was because of the failed policy of mass incarceration. So now we got to be about trying to figure out what the problem is that's causing this brother to come before the court. What is the problem that's causing the strife in this household that's driving these folks into the courthouse? If we can figure out what that is, then we can put the family back together. So rather than just plucking brothers out of the house and send them to prison, we're talking about nonviolent crimes now. We got to figure out a way to solve the problem so we can put an end to mass incarceration.
The next one, if I may, is inmate leasing.
When you say inmate leasing, what do you mean?
Convict leasing, where basically states are basically moving citizens, prisoners, to the state that's offering the least amount to house them as a way for the state to make money off of
Yeah, it sounds like slavery and indentured servitude.
That was
I
my
mean,
next
yeah.
term, was slavery. Do you believe, as a judge, that the prison system, it was, when I looked at my history books, Judge, it seemed like right after slavery, that's when mass incarceration started.
No doubt. It's a great movie called I think it's called The 13th, and it's about the way essentially the prisons became the next slavery, right? So as slavery was illegalized, was banned, now all of a sudden the prison populations went up, and a lot of it is intentional, right? So if you look at L.A. in the 80s with the drugs and the gangs and all of the drama that was going on, they changed the laws, and it was by design to take all of these people out and move them into the prisons.
Well,
So
let me ask you a question. What do you say to people that say, well, hey, just because you put drugs in your community don't mean you got to sell them. Just because you put guns in your community don't mean you got to shoot people.
So most people know that if you selling dope, you're going to be high for a minute, right? And then you're going to be low. And then you're going to be in prison somewhere. Or you're going to be standing on the street corner freezing to death, wishing you had a better job. If we give people opportunities, they're not going to sell dope. Right. So drugs end up in the community. We don't make the drugs. Drugs end up in the community. Once they're in the community, maybe we're in a better position to stay away from the drugs if we have more opportunities. So instead of pouring money into the prison system, pour money into the education system. And so that's why when I talk about being a problem solver rather than just incarcerating, that's just an example. Some young brother comes into my courtroom and he's there on a nonviolent offense, a low-level drug offense. It wouldn't, whether he's trafficking or possessing, it's irrelevant to me. The question is, what is it that's causing him to be in front of me? I will often see prosecutors say this, and it's funny to me. Oh, Your Honor, he's got to go to prison. We got to send him to prison because he just went to prison 2 years ago and did a year, and now he's right back at it. So we can't put him on probation. We got to send him to prison. That's flawed thinking. Obviously, prison didn't work. Why would we do it again?